Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you very much for your kind association. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We are continuing our study of Shri Jaiva Dharma by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahasaya, and we are studying chapter 14, and this is session 2. I'm sharing the screen. I hope all of you are able to see. Vrajnath and Shri Raghunath Das Babaji, they are conversing. Vrajnath is asking questions about the Shakti Tattva of Krishna. Vrajnath asks, how can Bhagwan remain nirvikar when he works according to his independent desire? Indeed, to be possessed of independent desire, so ichamay, means that he experiences vikar, transformations. How can we understand that Bhagwan is nirvikar, even though he performs so many leelas, even though he has a physical body, even though he performs so many activities, even though he has desires? Krishna also has desires. Krishna wanted Arjun to fight in the Kurukshetra war. So Krishna also has his desires. He's like a person. So how can Krishna be considered to be nirvikar? Nirvikar means one who does not undergo transformation, material transformation. Vikar means to undergo transformation. Just like milk gets converted into dahi. You put a culture in that and milk will become dahi. That is called vikar. Milk has transformed into yogurt. That's vikar, transformation. And in our body also there is vikar. As we become old, our hair becomes gray, our skin becomes wrinkled. This is called vikar. So how can we understand that Krishna is nirvikar, even though he has a body? Shri Raghunath Das Babaji explains, nirvikar means to be free from any material transformations. Vikar means transformation. Mayik vikar means material transformation. Nirvikar means no material transformation, no mayik vikar. Maya is the shadow of Swarup Shakti. Swarup Shakti, remember, is the spiritual energy. The work of Maya is reality, but it is not an eternal reality. That is the difference. The spiritual world is eternally existing, eternally present. This material world is also eternally present. But this material world keeps undergoing different transformations. That is a difference. The work of Maya is reality. Maya works, but it is not eternal reality. Thus, the defect of Maya is not present in the Paratattva. In the spiritual energy, there is no Maya. Krishna Surya Sama, माया है अंधकार, जहां कृष्ण तहां नहीं माया रा अधिकार. Where there is Krishna, there is no Maya. Illusion. The vikar that is present in Sri Hari in the form of his desire and pastimes is nothing but the highest manifestation of prem. For example, if Krishna is threatened by Mother Yashoda that she will punish him with a stick, then Krishna undergoes transformation, vikar, he starts crying, tears come. Or if Krishna wants to dance with the gopis, he wants to meet the Vraj gopis, then at night Krishna will play on his flute, and Krishna stands in the threefold bending form, and he's sometimes shedding tears of love in separation from Srimati Radharani. So Krishna is also undergoing vikar, also undergoing transformation. But these transformations are manifestations of prem. Such wonderful manifestations of transcendental variegatedness are present in Advaya Jnana, Bhagwan. Krishna, whose knowledge is uncontaminated. In spite of creating the material world by his desire, through his Maya Shakti, this Chit nature remains in eternal, unbroken existence. Advaya. Maya has no connection with the astonishing, variegated Leela of Bhagwan in the spiritual world. The Leela that Krishna performs in the spiritual world, Maya has no connection with that. Jahan Krishna taha nahi, Mayara adhikar. However, jivas whose intelligence has been rendered dull by the influence of Maya think that the wonderful variegatedness of the spiritual world is just another affair of Maya. What people do is we have experience of Maya in this material world, and it is the tendency of people to superimpose material conceptions on Krishna's pastimes. See, we have had infatuations in our life, or we have a spouse in our life. So when we see Radha and Krishna, we think, अच्छा जैसा मैं और मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड और जैसा मैं या मेरी वाइफ वैसे राधा एंड कृष्ण सुपर इम्पोज. That is the mistake of the jiva. Jivas whose intelligence is dull because of Maya think that the wonderful variegatedness of the spiritual world is just another affair of Maya. Krishna is stealing butter means it is like some ordinary child stealing a candy. No, Krishna's pastimes are not like the activities that we do in this material world. One who suffers from jaundice sees everything as yellow, and one whose eyes are covered by clouds perceives the sun also to be covered by clouds. Now, when it is raining, it is very cloudy. What do we say? Oh, there is no sun today. It is so dull. We say, na? There is no sun today. It is so dark and dingy and dull atmosphere. मजा नहीं आ रहा आज. मजा नहीं आ रहा under that cloud. The sun is shining bright 24/7. Those little tiny clouds. Now, look at those clouds from the sun's perspective. Imagine your your body is made up of fire and it is friendly to live on the sun, and you are living on the sun, and you are looking at this wide space in which there's a small speck called Earth planet. And on that Earth planet, because of the heat of the sun, the oceans are evaporating and clouds are getting formed. Those clouds are casting a shadow, and people living in that shadow are thinking, "Sun nahi hai yaar. आज मजा नहीं आ रहा. आज dull day है." What can those teeny tiny clouds do to the sun? It is our, unfortunately, we are under that cloud. So for us, भगवान किधर है दिखाओ. Eyes are covered by clouds. So we think there is no sun. Similarly, those with Mayic intelligence, those whose intelligence is clouded by Maya, imagine that transcendental names, forms, qualities, and pastimes are also Mayic. Just like the sun gets covered by the clouds, it is foolishness to say sun got covered by clouds. No, your eyes got covered by clouds. Sun cannot be covered by the clouds. So we think that, oh, Krishna चले गए, मर गए कृष्णा, एरो लग गया, मर गए. Or we say that now किधर है कृष्णा? Where is Krishna? Nobody can see Krishna. These types of statements are made by people who are covered by the cloud of Maya. The purport is that Maya Shakti is a shadow of Chit Shakti. So, the variegatedness found in spiritual activities is also reflected in the workings of Maya. Now, please try to understand this philosophy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said we should be enthusiastic to understand the philosophy, then we will be able to relish the Leela. सिद्धांत बलिया चित्ते ना करह आलस यहा हईते कृष्ण भक्ति सुदृढ़ मानस श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु's words that don't be lazy to hear philosophy. Story sunao, story sunao. No, but if we understand the philosophy, then we can truly relish the story. Otherwise, the story will become some sort of spiritual entertainment. And then after some time, we become bored. सब स्टोरीज सुन लिए अभी कृष्णा कॉन्शियस इज बोरिंग क्या भागवतम वही वो ये सब स्टोरीज पता है मेरे को देन वी बिकम स्टोरी कॉन्शियस वी बिकम एंटरटेनमेंट कॉन्शियस देन वी वांट न्यू एंड न्यू देन वी स्टार्ट लुकिंग फॉर न्यू न्यू बुक्स न्यू न्यू पास टाइम्स वेयर इज लव इन दैट वेयर इज लव देर इज नो लव इन दैट love is in relishing again and again and again that same story. You take any lecture of Srila Prabhupada on Janmashtami. Those same stories Prabhupada is telling again and again happily. Same Krishna book Prabhupada is saying, chalo read from morning to evening. Just hearing the same pastimes of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada can relish. Why? Because there is love. There is love. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, the point we are trying to understand here philosophically is the conception of the shadow. So please try to understand this, okay? Aparna Mataji, we are in the park where we had gone for picnic. You remember? Now the sun is shining bright and I am standing there and my shadow is there on the grass. And we have kept a partition so you can only see my shadow. How many heads the shadow will have? One. How many hands my shadow will have? Two hands. है ना? How many necks the shadow will have? One neck. Why? Because I have one head, I have one neck, and I have two hands. So my shadow also will reflect that. It will have the same. Similarly, the spiritual activities, spiritual forms, bodily forms, that is the real substance, and everything in this material world is but a shadow. That is what Sri Raghunath Das Babaji is explaining. This is shadow, material world, and the original is the spiritual world. Now tell me, can my shadow exist without me? नहीं ना. Shadow है मतलब the real person is there. If Aparna Mataji has a shadow, that means Aparna Mataji is there. If Radha Gopinath Prabhu, Satya Mataji, their shadow is falling on the ground, that means they are there. That is why the shadow exists. In this material world, we have two hands, two legs, one head. Why? Because Krishna has one head, two hands, two legs. We should not say that, Array, this Vyasdev and all these authors of Srimad Bhagavatam and Puranas, they have just written some mythological stories. There is some blue boy whose name is Krishna, who has got lotus eyes and curly hair and soft skin and two hands and two legs, and he plays a flute. Because they have just imagined these things based on the things that are going on in this material world. In this material world, also, some people have soft skin. In this material world, there are some flute players. In this material world, there are people with curly black hair. बस ये सब अच्छे अच्छे क्वालिटीज लेके you have created a fictitious character called Krishna और उसकी पूजा करो. This is what you people are doing. No, this type of thinking is very wrong. It is not that we are saying Krishna has two hands, Krishna has two legs, Krishna has two eyes because men in this world have two eyes, two hands, and two legs. No, it is the other way around. Because eternally in the spiritual world, Krishna has a nirvikar body, a body that does not undergo material transformations, which has one head, two eyes, two arms, two legs, eternally. That is a Sat Chid Ananda spiritual vigraha of Krishna eternally. And we are but his reflection. Therefore, in this world, we also have two eyes, two hands. Prabhupada gives example that how many hands does my t-shirt have? My Gaur Nitai t-shirt. How many hands? It has got two sleeves. huh? Left sleeve and right sleeve. Why did they manufacture this t-shirt with two hands? Why not four hands? Because they know that Ādi Gadādhara Dāsa has only two hands. Therefore, my shirt also will have two hands. How many necks does my t-shirt have? Only one neck. Why not two necks? Why not 10 necks? Because they know Ravan will not wear, Adigar Das will wear. If Dashagri wears, then there will have to be 10 holes like this to fit the neck. The clothing will correspond to the body, not other way around. कि अरे मेरे टी शर्ट को 10 नेक्स बनाए तो अभी मेरे को भी नेक्स 10 नेक्स बिठाओ. नो, इट्स द अदर. So it's not that because we have two hands, people are saying Krishna has two hands. No, because Krishna has two hands and we are his reflection, man is made in the image of God, is said in Bible, Holy Bible. Man is made in the image of God. This is the meaning. Therefore, we have like that. So Prabhupada gives example that because my body has two hands, my t-shirt has two hands. Similarly, because the soul has two hands in the spiritual body in Golok Vrindavan, whether we are the Gopas or Gopis in Golok Vrindavan, in our spiritual form, when we go there, because we have two hands, two legs there, in this body also, we have two hands and two legs. Hari Bol. Therefore, we have this, because our Swarup is like that in the spiritual world. So, this is a shadow. Material world is shadow. Material world exists because spiritual world exists, because it's shadow hai. Just like the shadow cannot exist without the actual person. So this example of shadow is very nice. So the conclusion is we should learn to see Krishna, we should learn to see the spiritual world through the eyes of scripture. Not see scriptures through the eyes of material education. Is that clear? You see the difference? Now, the variegatedness seen in Maya Shakti is an inferior reflection or shadow of the variegatedness found in the spiritual world, Chit Shakti. So, although these two types of variegatedness are apparently similar, अरे इधर भी गर्लफ्रेंड बॉयफ्रेंड है, उधर भी गर्लफ्रेंड बॉयफ्रेंड है, इधर भी डांसिंग एंड डिस्को एंड सोशल फेस्टिवल्स वो सब होते हैं, उधर भी रासलीला होती है. ये क्या है? इज आर सम पीपल जस्ट इमेजिनिंग थिंग्स ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड एंड सुपर इम्पोजिंग देम कि ऐसा कुछ स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में है? नो. अगेन वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट इज द ओरिजिनल एंड दिस इज द शैडो. Although these two types of variegatedness of the spiritual world and variegatedness means the variegatedness of the material world, they appear to be similar, but actually they're completely opposite. Superficially, a person's reflection in a mirror appears the same as the body. However, with careful examination, they are seen to be exactly the opposite. For one is the body and the other is just reflection. Now, shadow gives some idea. My shadow will tell you that I have got one head, two hands. But Aparna Mataji, can you tell what is my complexion just looking at the shadow? No. Can you tell the shape of my eyes looking at the shadow? No. Can you tell the color of my t-shirt by looking at the shadow? No. Shadow gives some information, shadow does not give all the details. So, in this material world, some things are there, it's a reflection. But the real variety, the real details, the real rus is there in the spiritual world. The body's various parts appear opposite in their reflection. Now, based on the laws of physics, we have all learned that the reflection in the mirror, what is the quality? It is laterally inverted. Everybody remembers physics lessons? The reflection in the mirror is laterally inverted. Satyaro Mata is very happily smiling. Perhaps she's teaching physics to Varadraj and Yuvraj, her two very nice devotee sons like Lava and Kush. But in physics, we have learned mirror reflection is laterally inverted. So, similarly, in this reflection, also everything is inverted. In material world, to have an extramarital affair is most abominable. It is wrong. It should not be done. Correct? In the spiritual world, all the gopis are having an extramarital affair with Krishna based on material vision. They are leaving their husbands and running to Krishna at night for Ras Leela. But in the spiritual world, that extramarital affair with Krishna is the highest expression of love. Ramya Kachid Upasana Vrajavadhu. Vrajavadhu, the married girls, Vraj के मैरिड गोपियां अपने पतियों का त्याग करके मध्य रात्रि को वन में प्रवेश करती है श्री कृष्णा के साथ रासलीला करने के लिए और ये प्रेम की पराकाष्ठा है. दिस इज द हाईएस्ट जेनिथ ऑफ लव. Why? Because in the spiritual world, those so-called husbands are also expansions of Krishna. And Krishna is the shadows of Krishna. And Krishna is showing the world how much the gopis love him. That they are willing to leave everything, they are willing to lose their social standing, they are willing to be ridiculed to be with Krishna. When a person is married to another person, husband and wife are married to each other, for them to love each other is natural. For Sita to love Ram is natural. For Rukmini to love Dwarkadish is natural. For Satyabhama to love Dwarkadish Krishna is natural. But when Radharani is married to a person called Abhimanyu, and she still loves Krishna more than her life, that shows the unparalleled and unselfish nature of that love. She has nothing to gain. And Radharani has no duty to love Krishna. As a wife, it is a duty to love the husband. But Radharani and Krishna are not married to teach us that their love is so pure that there is no reason for them to love each other. There is no, they are not duty bound to love each other, but still they love each other no end. Therefore, Parakya Bhav, love as a paramour, Upapati, which is abominable in the material world, is the highest in the spiritual world. In the material world, to run away from a battlefield, सब लोग छेतु करेंगे. But in the spiritual world, in Krishna Leela, Krishna is celebrated as Ranchod. In the material world, if someone goes and steals the clothes of the young girls who are bathing, that person will have to register as a sex offender and will go to jail. Rightly so. However, in the spiritual world, when Krishna does that in the Chirharan Leela to the gopis, Krishna is celebrated. In fact, the gopis did Katyayani Vrat 1 month so that Krishna will come and give them darshan in that way. So, what is abominable in the material world is the highest thing in the spiritual world because it is laterally inverted. Reflection is always inverted. इधर सब उल्टा है material world में. And spiritual world में सब सुलटा है, सब सीधा है. That is the original. ये उल्टा है. So that we have to understand. See, in the material world, to become intoxicated is considered very bad. Aparna Mataji, next time I come Friday to your house, what if I come intoxicated? Imagine. अरे बाप रे, प्रभु जी को ठीक से चलने को भी नहीं हो रहा है. To be intoxicated in the material world is considered most abominable. But when we read the Bhakti Shastra, we see that Krishna is always love intoxicated. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is love intoxicated. Sri Nityananda Prabhu is love intoxicated. In fact, Balram ji always constantly is drinking Varuni, which is an intoxicant, but spiritual intoxicant. It is different. That intoxicant increases your love for Krishna. That intoxicant actually nourishes your body, doesn't cause cirrhosis, doesn't cause beer belly. You see how the spiritual world is the original, and in the material world, everything is a ulta pulta reflection. It's an inverted reflection. So, this we have to understand. Look at this. In the material world, if you don't understand that Krishna is God, we fall down. Correct? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhu cha na tumam abhijananti tatvenatas chavantite. If you don't understand me in truth, you will fall down. Okay? In the material world, if we don't recognize Krishna as God, we fall down. In the spiritual world, in Golok Vrindavan, entry bhi nahi milegi if you think Krishna is God. If you say Golok Vrindavan, Krishna, you are God, entry nahi. No entry. To enter Golok Vrindavan, you have to forget that Krishna is God. You see how it is just opposite. Yashoda Maya doesn't know that Krishna is God. Can Sridama wrestle with Krishna knowing that he's Bhagwan? Can any of us wrestle with Lord Narasimha? No. But in Golok Vrindavan, the first criteria for admission is that you have to forget that Krishna is God. You only have to remember your personal sambandh with Krishna. Mora putra, mora sakha, mora pranapati. Bas, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, this is my sakha, this is my friend, this is my putra, he is my son, or he is my pranapati, he is my paramour, he is my life and soul. Bas, these are the relationships. Nobody says that Krishna is God. In fact, Krishna does so many things to prove that he is God, yet nobody believes him. आगासुर को फाड़ दिया, बकासुर को फाड़ दिया, गोवर्धन को उठा लिया, but still they say that, oh, Nanda Baba was chanting mantras, that's why Krishna got Lord Narayan gave him some little strength for 7 days to hold it. This is Vrindavan. See how everything is ulta. From a subtle point of view, however, they are opposed to each other. For material variegatedness is a distorted reflection of transcendental variegatedness. Therefore, although there is some apparent similarity, they are nonetheless different in essence. That independent supreme person who works by his own sweet will is the controller of Maya. One of Krishna's names is Mayesh, the Lord of Maya. He is free from any Mayic transformations. Krishna has transformations, but they are not Mayic. They are not transformations produced under the influence of Maya. Those transformations are produced by love. Srimati Radharani is showing all the Ashtasattvic Vikar. Sweda, Kampa, Pulaka, Ashru. But they are all transformations of love. And through Maya, he fulfills his purposes. In this material world, Krishna fulfills his purposes through his Maya Shakti. Now, something very sweet about Radharani, but we will not be able to do it today. It's very long. So we will leave this question, the answer to this question, for next session of Jaiva Dharma. Rajnath asks, which of Shri Krishna Shakti is Srimati Radhika Rani? राधा पूर्ण शक्ति कृष्ण पूर्ण शक्तिमान दुई वस्तु भेद नाही शास्त्रेर प्रमाण. So that we'll see next time. Srimati Radharani. हरे कृष्णा. श्री जैव धर्म की जय. श्रील भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. निताई गौर हरि बोल. जय जय श्री राधे श्याम. Divya Mataji, you have a question?
Yes, Prabhuji. I always had a question. What should be the goal of Krishna consciousness? Is it feeling the personal ecstasy or following the instruction? Because personally, when I read the scriptures, the Ramayana Chopai, Tulsidasi, that is what gives me the most, like, joy or happiness or ecstasy. I just sometimes I wonder what is the purpose. Is it to feel that, or is it to follow, Guru's instruction, chanting and reading Gita, Bhagavatam?
Hare Krishna. We are all different. Therefore, in Jaiva Dharma, we were reading today how there is so much variegatedness in the spiritual realm also. For you, in particular, you should continue to read Goswami Tulsidas ji's Ramcharitmanas, Vinay Patrika, the Chaupais, because they nourish your heart. And it was Sri Valmiki Muni only who came in the form of Goswami Tulsidas and preached the glories of Lord Ramachandra in the local language, Awadhi. So you should read. They are nourishing your heart, and you should read Bhagavad Gita also. You should read Srimad Bhagavatam also, but you should continue reading Goswami Tulsidas ji's writings. They are purely devotional. So, in general, Krishna consciousness is both. To follow the orders of spiritual master is ecstasy. They are not two different things. If we are real disciples, then following the orders of spiritual master is personal ecstasy, is personal joy. And that realization comes because real disciple means no separate interest. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana. My spiritual master was asked once any specific instructions on success in spiritual life in terms of the Guru Tattva. This question was asked in NVCC Pune, and my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he told, success in spiritual life comes when we make our personal likes and dislikes subservient to the instructions of Sri Guru. I repeat, spiritual success comes when we make our personal likes and dislikes subservient to the orders of Sri Guru. So there is ecstasy in following the orders of the Guru when we um, have some spiritual realization and some spiritual advancement, some spiritual maturity. They are not two different things. Now, general. For you in particular, you should read Goswami Tulsidas' Ramcharitmanas and be happy because Guru and Krishna will be happy. Okay.
And one more question I had now about following the instruction. I really enjoy chanting like in the morning hours before kids wake up, and I feel that is so much more potent. And I feel so disappointed with myself not being able to do that. Although that is something like that chanting in the morning hours is really nourishing, and I really enjoy it. But I'm not able to do because so many things going on.
Hmm.
So, and that, I mean, I feel hopeless. I feel disappointed. I feel I'm not, getting anywhere. Although I want to be there, but I'm not being able to.
Hmm. This feeling of hopelessness, feeling of failure, I'm not getting anywhere, that is a sign of your sincerity. So, what we can do is you from tomorrow, tonight, try to sleep early, and from tomorrow, you wake up and try to chant in the morning. We all chant together. So, you try to chant, and it happens. Yesterday, I also slept at 1 o'clock, so I could not wake up today on time. I also woke up late because I'm having these evening admitting shifts. So I was charting till 1 o'clock. So these things happen sometimes. There are some special situations in life which disturb our daily schedule, but we should try to come back. So from tomorrow, you try to chant again in the morning, and after you finish your japa, so two things you do, and everybody listen carefully. This is personally, it has helped me a lot in my life. Before you start japa in the morning, you thank Guru and Krishna. Thank you, my dear Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, dear Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Radha Gopinath. You have woken me up for Brahma Murta. It is 4 o'clock or 4:30, and you have woken me up. I'm very grateful to you. This Brahma Murta Japa is a great gift to me. Thank you, thank you. With that gratitude, you chant. After you finish your 16 round, after you finish your japa session, whatever number of rounds you're chanting, 16 rounds, 18 rounds, 20 rounds, after you finish, you fold your hands and you thank Krishna again. Krishna, thank you so much for allowing me to chant in Brahma Muhurta in the morning. All my rounds, I'm so grateful to you. Thank you, Guru. Thank you, Krishna. Please give me this gift of Brahma Muhurta Japa tomorrow also. These two things, if you do, then there will be consistency. Before you start japa, you thank Krishna for waking you up. After you finish japa, thank Krishna for allowing you to chant all your rounds in Brahma Muhurta, and then pray for the next day. Tomorrow also, please wake me up in Brahma Muhurta. Tomorrow also, please allow me to chant like this. Please, please. This is all I ask. If we pray like this, then Krishna will, day after day, he will allow us to chant good quality rounds. Okay, Mataji?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vanit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, on the same line, Mataji asked the question. Sometimes, we have lot of work, and all day that work is in the mind. So, in that time, we may not able to properly serve, do the service. We try our best, but in that way, what should we do? Because sometimes, like a lot of work, like 12 hours, we are continuously working because of deliveries or something, whatever the reason would be, right? So in that case, what should we do? Because getting up sometime early morning will be little difficult.
Hare Krishna. We can take care of the deliveries and pray to Krishna that please deliver me also from this material world. Yes, these releases, deliveries, and everything is there, and we have to do it because we are in the Grahastha ashram. But as our acharyas have said, that every so often, every half an hour, we should just take a 10 seconds break and say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. My dear Guru and Krishna, all this hard work I'm doing, I offer it to you. Yat karoshi yad ashnashi yad juhosi dadasi yad yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. And then go back. These small breaks. I know one devotee, he's an IT. He has on his schedule, he has put alarms every 1 hour. So after every 1 hour, he takes this 10-second break where he chants the Maha Mantra and says, in the last 1 hour, Krishna, whatever I did, please accept it. I offer it to you. Then everything becomes spiritual. And then again, he goes back to work. So yes, we have to work, but we have to take this, we should take these breaks, maybe 10, 15-second break, chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and mentally offer everything we did in the last 1 hour to Krishna, then go back. I remember when I was taking my USMLE exams, United States medical licensing exams. So it was a 7 hour exam and 8 hour exam with 1 hour of break. So 7 1 hour blocks. And we had so many multiple choice questions. Every hour there were 40 to 50 multiple choice questions. Practically 1 minute per question, a little more than that. So what I used to do was I used to read the question, figure out what was the answer, and then click on it by saying Hare Krishna. And then next question also you have to click, second click also Hare Krishna. And then the next question would come on the screen. So if there are 40 or 50 questions every hour, seven times 50 is 350 questions in one exam, 300 to 350 questions in one exam, 2 times each. So almost 700, 1400 times, 1400 times chanted Hare Krishna in a 8 hour exam.
Good. Got it.
So I did that and I did it for both USMLE step 1, step 2, and also for step 3. And so somehow I just remembered this. So it gave me so much a nice feeling that yes, 8 hours I was sitting there in the exam hall, but I chanted a lot. And few times unknowingly it used to come out loud. So in that prometric center, the person sitting next to me gave me it's a dirty look. Hey. So then I realized I'm doing it loudly. I have to do it in my mind, then just stop. Like that. So whatever we are doing work, we should chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Vanit Prabhu, there's a very beautiful shlok where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, this Antilila 20th, last chapter. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Thaite Shuite Yatha Tatha Nam Le. देश काल नियम नहीं, सर्वसिद्धि है. That while eating, while sleeping, yatha tatha, whatever work you are doing, this activity, that activity, Nam, you have to keep chanting Krishna Nam. What will happen? Desh kal niyam nahi. There is no restriction of time and place where you can chant. No, you can chant anywhere at any time. Desh means place. Kal means time. Desh kal niyam nahi, Mahaprabhu says. So, and Sarva Siddhi hai. You chant always Hare Krishna, you will get all spiritual perfection.
Mm.
You can chant anywhere. You can chant in the toilet, you can chant in the
Right.
car, you can chant in the office, you can chant at home, you can chant everywhere. There is Desh Kal Niyam Nahi, and everywhere and every time, you can, any time you can chant.
Mm.
So we should keep chanting, like it is said in Vrindavan. um, दुनिया के काम करते रहो,
Right.
हरे नाम जपते रहो, बस.
वो
So
प्रभु जी क्या क्या है कि लाइक मॉर्निंग में जैसे लाइक अगर अर्ली मॉर्निंग नहीं हुआ जपा, सो लाइक वो वी फील लिटिल बैड, लाइक बोथ ऑफ अस, कि नहीं हो पाया, लाइक मे बी बिकॉज वी आर टायर्ड और लाइक व्हाटएवर द रीजन वुड बी, राइट, वो नहीं उठ पाए, वी इंटरनली फील वेरी बैड. सो लाइक अभी आई थिंक 2 days बैक वो आपकी क्लास चल रही थी, राइट, ऑन द के आई थिंक मॉर्निंग क्लास, टुडे मॉर्निंग क्लास आल्सो वी डिस्कस के पनिशमेंट, रिगार्डिंग द पनिशमेंट, कि आपको पनिशमेंट मिल रही है या नहीं मिल रही है. सो नोइंगली और अननोइंगली कुछ ऐसा हुआ हो हमसे कि ऑल ऑफ ए सडन सो मच वर्क कम फॉर बोथ ऑफ अस, और लाइक वी आर नॉट एबल टू गेट टाइम. सो
punishment, or we can look at it as परीक्षा. भगवान परीक्षा ले रहा है कि जब डिलीवरी होती है या कोई रिलीज होता है ऑफिस में, तो क्या इनका भजन कम हो जाता है? भगवान परीक्षा लेते हैं. तो ये परीक्षा है, तो भगवान रोज लेते हैं भक्ति में. एवरी डे इज अ टेस्ट. सो हमें बस पास होना है, सिंसियर रह के, एंड प्रयास करना है कि सुबह में ही जब हो जाए, क्योंकि सुबह में अच्छा होता है.
राइट.
वरना फिर हमारे साधना जो रिपोर्ट हम भेजते हैं उसमें लिखना चाहिए कि ब्रह्म में नहीं हुआ, इतने ही मालूम है, और क्वालिटी भी कम थी. क्वालिटी होती है ना
राइट.
उसमें. तो सो देन वी व्हेन वी सी दैट वी रियलाइज यार गलती हो गई, कल ऐसा नहीं, कल मैं मॉर्निंग में चैंटिंग करूंगा या करूंगी ऐसा. क्योंकि सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट बात है सवेरे अच्छे से चैंटिंग करना. इट्स द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट स्पिरिचुअल प्रैक्टिस, चैंटिंग 16 राउंड्स इन ब्रह्म मुहूर्त अटेंटिवली. और अभी साधु संगम में एवरी मॉर्निंग विल चैंट टुगेदर, ठीक है? आप आना, and we'll all chant together. Aparna Mataji, you also, morning we will come and chant together वहाँ पे सबके साथ. All big senior devotees will be there. His Holiness Indradumna Swami Maharaj, Shachirandan Swami Maharaj, Vaisheshika Maharaj, and all the great devotees are there. So we'll chant morning with them. Then फिर ऐसे साधु संगम आके फिर एकदम से we become spiritually enlivened. And when we go back to our place of residence, then we carry that energy like that. So these are opportunities to become spiritually strong and energized when we come in the association of devotees. ठीक है? हरे कृष्णा. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. निताई गौर हरि बोल. जय जय श्री राधे.
Ciao.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.